Playing your words there in my head. When you're not here, I'm stuck in bed. I'm starting to break. I'm starting to break. I'm starting to break down. Watch all of the bullets fall to the ground. Your lips are stained with fiction. You always
It's Corona time.
Hello, me old chum. I'm not a gnolf. I'm not a gnoblin. I'm a gnome, and you've been gnomed. Yeah, boy.
Mashed potatoes.
All I seek to find is a world that's mine. Need a place to hide. Will you free my mind? Following the lights of a world that's blind. In your eyes I see there's a place for me. All I seek to find is a world that's mine. Need a place to hide. Will you free my mind? Following the lights of a world that's blind. In your eyes I see there's a place for me.
sky blue eyes. I see a world behind them. No more time.
dying to know where you came from. We're breaking open. Feel like our future's just begun. And all I know is that we lost time. If we stay right here, we could free ourselves inside. We'll stay awake forever. We'll hide away where no one knows. Let's run away together. Just lead me into your world. We'll stay awake forever. We'll hide away where no one knows. Dream just to be where you are. In a world I can see where you are. Where you are meant to be. Wish you're here next to me. Where you are. Won't you come over? Dying to know.
Hello everybody, my name is Frank Salerno and welcome to a Critical Hits breakdown where we take a closer look at some matches in the collegiate esports scene. So today what we're going to be doing is I'm going to be looking at a match from Overwatch Week 7 of the Spring 2020 NJCAA ladder, and the match was between the Northern Essex Community College Knights and Bismarck State College. And this match ended in a 3-0 in favor of the Northern Essex Knights. So what I'm going to do is look at the game, give a little bit of an analytical eye, and see why Northern Essex was able to sweep Bismarck, who was another top-tier team. At the end of the season, these teams were 1 and 2 individually in the standings. So let's jump into the gameplay and see what the Knights were able to do to come away with the clean sweep over Bismarck. So starting off, we see that Shaw for Northern Essex, the main healer, is using Lucio. And when you're on Ilios, well, like you are here at the start, you're going to want to be using Lucio. You obviously see the Roadhog and the Orisa as well, trying to get those environmental kills of booping, pulling, or dragging into the well. And while it is flashy and it's cool and it gives you a good little laugh as your team, it's a really fair strategy. And what we'll see Shaw do here is he's going to go to the middle, start riding the wall, get that speed and health boost up to its max potential, and then get behind the team of Bismarck. And just in case someone walks into his line of sight, he'll have good positioning so he's able to boop them into the well. Immediately Fabled on Doomfist, playing a little bit of a dive, gets a kill onto the McCree, so already in a really early opening on the side of Northern Essex. And Fabled again, like I said, playing this dive, going on the back line. They're unaware, focused the Moira, but got the junk. That's still a big kill. That's 2 DPS down. The McCree will be back soon, but still a great dive out of Fabled. I think that was maybe just a fault on the side of Bismarck as well, not accounting for Fabled being there. You gotta count heads better, you gotta know where the enemy team is at, and because of that lapse in Bismarck's strategy, Fabled's able to get 2 kills off the rip, dives the junk, and keeps the control in favor of Northern Essex Knights. Fabled with another dive kill there onto the Moira, doing a great job early with the dive. Sounds like the High Noon was used on the side of Northern Essex, so maybe a little bit of a waste. I think we just saw our first environmental kill as well, Osiris dragging in the Rhine like I mentioned. There's another drag, there it goes! Goodbye, McCree! See you later! What a play by Osiris! Oh, Tweety will get taken out by Mora's Orb. So maybe you get a little bit of pressure if you're Bismarck, but I guess because of that kill onto McCree and just on a little bit of a stagger, you don't want to get too aggressive onto the point. Here comes a Junkrat tire. You hear it in the background. We'll see if we can get a kill. You saw that. There it goes. And it did nothing. But Rhine will get kills onto Fable. Fabled will get taken down, so that it is an opening. Here's a grab. Oh, Osiris matches it with the Roadhog ult and gets 2. He gets both tanks, Zarya and Rhine. Wow, what a great counter ult that was from Osiris. Fabled, I think that's no, it's Freaky J rather. Sorry, with the McCree will follow up with 3. Wow, great counter roll out of the Roadhog of Osiris, stopping the combination of the grab, and I believe the Coalescence was there as well, but nevertheless, I could be wrong. A great counter roll out of Osiris's Roadhog to keep the team alive immediately. That Roadhog ult kills 2 tanks. That's an awesome usage of the Roadhog ultimate. 1-0 goes up Northern Essex early. We'll see if they're able to 2-0 this. We obviously know they won. We're looking at why they were able to sweep Bismarck State College. See what happened here. Maybe this was a reason. Freaky J changing to Widow has the damage boost Mercy in the pocket. That could be lethal if the shots are lethal. If the accuracy is lethal, should I say. Ooh, Ana with a nice tag. Again, he's gonna get healed, obviously, by the Mercy, but scares him a little bit. You know, makes him play a little less aggressive. Fabled still with the Doomfist, still looking for the dives. Might go in there, decides, pulls back. It's a very disciplined play, rather. Don't want to jump in there away from your team and get killed. They'll actually concede the point to Bismarck. Didn't feel like they had enough pressure. Obviously with Freaky in the back, with Widow, unable to find a pick. Not enough pressure to get the point. They'll concede it to Bismarck. Good job by Bismarck there. Holding off. Here's a dive. Fabled with a kill. That's a major dive, and it worked in favor of Northern Essex Knights. And off that, you might get a push here. Fable does get traded, so the push gets stalled. There goes the Orisa. Kermie gets taken out by Datshaw. It now pops the Valkyrie after a really well-timed and well-executed res onto Kermie. That's going to lead to Fable diving in. They'll get the kills that they need, and they will get control of this point. Great job by Datshaw, keeping his team alive, getting the res onto Kermie, using the Valkyrie, and helping through the support role, getting that point. I would say that Datshaw right there was the MVP of that push. Gives Northern Essex the point. Now they're applying pressure as Bismarck is coming out of spawn. Nice shot. Nice little whip onto the Moira there. Freaky with one. Freaky, a nice kill onto the McCree, rather. And just like that, the push is over. Zarya also gets snapped on by Freaky J. So great job from Freaky J. Obviously killing the Moira and then the McCree. The push is done as it is. Add insult to injury with a third snipe onto the Zarya. That was a beautiful chain of kills from Freaky J. Right now, just applying pressure like they were, Northern Essex. Right here at this choke point. Let's see what happens. A Coalescence comes in from the side of Bismarck. Pairing that with the grab. Seems like it will succeed as they get two. Curry puts down the bongo. I don't really know if that was the best usage. Gets taken out. There goes Mercy. That's a cap for Bismarck. Great job. The grab Coalescence combo came in handy. Tweety has the Nano. We'll see what they do. Probably going to a Rhyme Shatter or Doomfist. Probably Doomfist if I were to bet. We'll see though.
Nano boost is ready to deploy. I have your back. You're powered up. Get in there.
Yeah, I believe that was the Doom that did get the Nano. We'll see if they're able to get anything off of that. Fable actually got killed, so as I say, I hope they're able to get something. They get absolutely nothing. They actually do get a kill, and then a revive onto Freaky J. So not terrible. The Roadhog Osiris having a great job, a map here on Ilios. They will get backed up, but they did apply a little bit fresh. Oh, Freaky J. Nice snipe onto the McCree through a lot of traffic. Here comes a pin onto the May. Not a pin, rather a chain, a hook. There's a lot going on here, but they're doing a great job, Knights, of keeping their team alive and getting the picks. That was a great job. There was a lot happening there. But Northern Essex was able to find the kills that they needed. I think a lot of that came on the back of that early pick from Osiris onto the Moira. Kind of put them on the back foot, them being Bismarck. So great job on Northern Essex to regain the point there. And I don't think they invested that much ultimate-wise. I don't know if they really had it. You see that Kermie is still sturdy off the shatter. I'd be surprised if Kermie doesn't fall, but great healing coming in. Kermie's been great. The pairing of the heals from Datshaw has been better. That may have actually been Tweety with the Ana keeping him up there. Nevertheless, healing was great on this side of Northern Essex that time, which kind of led to their victory here on map 1 Ilios. So healing was awesome. Fabled also with the Doomfist. Awesome job diving, getting those picks when needed. So I think map 1, the dive was just better than the brawl that you were looking on the side of Bismarck. The counters really weren't there. This chain here with the Grav Coalescence was really the only defining moment in the entire match for Bismarck. The only thing they did well, they used the Grav on the Well Hill, and they got destroyed by a Road Hoggle that booped both of their tanks into the well. So I think the dive and the healing just outplayed Bismarck on that first side. So good job by Northern Essex. We'll see what they do here on map 2. We'll see how Bismarck's maybe able to counter some of the dominating DPS play we saw out of Freaky and Fabled, and if they're able to counter it. Obviously they end up losing, like we said. Like I will remind you, we're watching a 3-0 between these teams, between Northern Essex and Bismarck, with the Knights getting the 3-0. The point is to see how they did it and what Bismarck could have done differently, and I think the difference will come from the DPS of Bismarck in this second if they are able to stay in a little bit. We'll see if they did counter and what Northern Essex was able to do in response, if anything. Fabled on Soldier, that's good. It will make him self-sufficient in terms of heals. Kermie with 2. Wow. And then Freaky J on the back line with the Widow. Kermie's been doing a great job up front as well. Kermie and Osiris on the tanks. I didn't really give them enough love on the first map, but they've been doing a great job. Nice snipe out of Freaky. Wow, Freaky J. I just mentioned that I wanted to see how the DPS would counter the DPS of Freaky and Fabled on the Northern Essex Knights that dominated map 1 Ilios. And here on map 2, more of the same from Freaky J and Fabled so far.
No one can hide from my sight.
I like his positioning out of Freaky. That's why I liked it. With the Infrasight, that's really useful. Gets the pick onto the opposing Ana. Pretty much the Bismarck players are on their back foot now. The healing onto Kermie has been electric. Lucio and Moira paired up right now. Datshaw on Moira. That's the third hero we've seen Datshaw use, and the third hero they've had success with. They chain the Coalescence, the Tactical Visor, and the Sigma ult to get that push. That's a lot of utility, but they should be able to get this uncontested. There might be one more little contest on this side of Bismarck, but you pretty much lock it up as long as you can win this one team fight. High Noon coming in. High Noon doesn't get a lot though from the McCree of Bismarck. You want to get more than just Freaky there. Getting Freaky really doesn't do much. All you're really doing is getting a DPS who on the back line and in this close range fight may be able to get a pick or two, but you're really looking to get a healer or two there if you're Bismarck with the High Noon. I'll be honest, I think they wasted that really badly, because now you don't have the High Noon. You're getting on a little bit of a stagger now. You're getting rolled by Northern Essex, and they might be able to push this thing straight in uncontested pretty much all the time. Datshaw need to soak up some damage so they get more heals. You see running out of the heals there from Moira. And they're pushing this thing straight in. Here comes the Rhine. Get a contest.
I will rebuild you.
Zarya just got killed, so that's a little bit of pain for Bismarck. Down a stagger. Coalescence targeting, getting damage, and that should be it. That's it. Wow. Northern Essex Knights looked awesome in this game. They really did. They looked really, really good. And we'll jump ahead to when they're at the choke here on defense. But if you're Bismarck, you need to change it up. The brawl that you're doing right now is simply not working. You can't kill Freaky and Fabled. So maybe you try to change to a more of a dive. Maybe I'm not gonna lie and say I'm super aware with the play of Bismarck as a team as a whole, and what they're able to do in terms of different comps. But the brawl you're going with right now ain't it. It ain't it, Chief. This is not the move.
Take your medicine. This will only hurt for a minute. I have your back.
Right now, it's just a very basic play at the choke. Just kind of brawling it out, see if you can get the advantage, get a pick. Bismarck gets the first onto Tweety. Maybe get the res here onto Tweety if you're the Datshaw Mercy. Yep, there it is. But Datshaw gets taken out. But pretty much these trades are going in favor of Bismarck. So that was a good job. They got the initial pick. Looks like Freaky got taken out a little bit. Stabilized, you know, brought back down to reality from that insane level of play that he was having. I'm not saying Freaky's not a great DPS player. We've seen that he's been insane so far, but he's playing way above the level of DPS that between two high teams should be dominating. You know, you shouldn't be dominating to that extreme with two good teams out here.
Nano boost is ready to deploy.
This is where I really want to see Bismarck figure it out in terms of comps and maybe focusing Freaky a little bit more. Hopefully you can outplay him. Man, hopefully they're able to follow up on that. But that snipe gave Freaky J a haircut, and then he takes out the Widow. If you get that kill onto Freaky there, the Freaky's not even looking at the Widow. The Widow has a clear line of sight onto Freaky J, and Freaky is dead meat. He's a sitting duck, and they missed the shot. And because of that, Freaky regroups, gets the kill onto the Widow, and now it slows down the push. You don't get that opening from Bismarck. They just gotta convert shots. That's really what it comes down to right there. Another, the Freaky J kill onto the Rhine, then gets traded by the Widow. So while that's good, like, that's a good kill, but you get the trade, an unfavorable trade for Bismarck. You don't want to trade a Rhine for a Widow. The Widow is not what you really want to be focused. The Rhine is a big loss. Because of that, you got to back it up. Like, Bismarck has to back up. They can't push without the Rhine, so that slows down everything. Moira just faded, I think, straight into that charge. As a Moira main myself, I've been there. That's just very unfortunate. Once again, slows down the side of Bismarck State College. Northern Essex just dominating in pretty much every fashion. I don't think there's a single facet of this game where Bismarck is doing it better than Northern Essex. The Knights are dominant right now. Kermie on the front line, not giving them enough love. Been awesome with Rhine. Toasty Potato on the side of Bismarck. That is the Rhine player. Doing a great job. Pretty much doing all they can. Blocking a lot of damage that's getting beamed in with the Sigma Rhine double tank combo that you have on the side of Northern Essex. Finally, Freaky will fall to the Ash. Maybe they try to get a push off of this. Pop in the Coalescence. Yep, they want it. But here comes the ult from the side of Osiris's Sigma. Pop in the Tactical Visor is fabled and finds 4 to pair it with the Sigma ult. And just like that, when Bismarck thought maybe they'd have an opening, they completely shut it down. GG. Game over. 2-0 in the series. They go up. What happened on map 2, as we're seeing, is Bismarck just didn't have an answer to the hit scan DPS of Ashen Soldier there on the second side. They just didn't have it. They didn't focus. They didn't win the 1v1s enough. The Widow that they pulled out wasn't great. The Ash that they pulled out wasn't getting the job done. And because they were switching so much, they didn't really have time to chain those ults together. I don't think I saw a single Bob on the side of Bismarck. And as we go to map 3, obviously you've seen we've skipped ahead. We go on to Anubis. Freaky opened it up, and now we have a dive coming out of Fabled again. We saw the dive successful on map 1 with the Doomfist, and immediately the dive is successful here with the Genji. They also have the Winston adding on to the dive. Then they're going to be able to get this break and probably this capture. So they alternate from dive to brawl. From between map 1 and 2, they jump back to the dive on map 3 on Anubis, and they roll the first point. Bismarck just doesn't have a counter to these comps.
Commence attack on objective B. Nanoboost is charging.
I saw the May, which is a good play in theory on the side of Bismarck. So I will give them props for trying, but trying is not how you win. There's the mines right on top of everybody. Immortality on top of that. Actually, the immortality came from the other side, so that was a good counter from the Baptiste of Bismarck. But they're still rolling through. Winston getting 2, Genji with 1, Freaky J, Widow is still alive. That's a full team kill, and that's going to be a cap. And that's going to be a complete dumpstering of Bismarck on that first side. And I don't mean to disrespect Bismarck. We know they were a great team. They came in like first in the standings, I believe. It may have been second. But these two teams, like I mentioned, were 1 and 2. Bismarck was just getting outplayed here. The dive was too much, and they're talking in the chat, having fun with it. Bismarck kind of knows this isn't our day. But that Genji dive was great from Fabled. And Freaky J opened it up again with another beautiful shot with the Widow. If I'm Bismarck here, I want to go full dive. Just, the brawl has not worked for 2 maps. Just get the dive and send it. And Freaky immediately kills the Genji. That had to have been a nasty shot. It had to have been. Like, at least he went dive. I think that's Winston. I think I saw Winston Genji. So at least they went when they went to the dive. At least they tried. Didn't look like it worked there. They have a Junkrat as well. Maybe pepper in some damage. The tire can go huge. Hammond. Yep, I like that as well. Hammond does get taken out by the Orisa from Kermie. Freaky back here with the snipe. Just absolutely deadly. Here comes another team push. It's regrouping. Are the Bismarck players? Ooh, Fabled back with the Doomfist. I did not even realize. Freaky immediately gets a pick onto the Junkrat again. So Fabled's going to try to counter the dive. Here comes a dive of his own. Unable to get anything, and he's actually in a bad spot. So I appreciate the dive attempt. It worked well on Ilios map 1, but not here on map 3. Ooh, that Datshaw res is big. So while the entire Bismarck team is pushing to the right of the Knights, Datshaw will sneak up to where Fable died, get the res, and then dash back. That's heads up play. Really great usage of the res. Datshaw's been an electric mercy so far. The Hammond was antied, so it's trying to get the heck out of dodge. Winston peppering in some damage onto the Hog. It's not going to go well for Winston if more reinforcements get there. Tweety does get killed by Genji, so that's a big opening on the side of Bismarck, one that you've rarely seen them have. But at the same time, Northern Essex is doing a great job keeping their players alive. Datshaw's mercies keeping them up and healed and ready to go. The Ana, I believe, is what we're looking at as the second support here. And they've also been great. Datshaw will finally die as I say that, though. It may be a Lucio. I'm not sure what the second support is, I will say. Freaky finally gets taken out by the dive of the Winston with the Primal. The Ana of Tweety gets taken out, so it wasn't Ana, but they're gone. Fabled also gone, so this should be, barring a substantial comeback, but a great job so far of holding it down. Slowing down what should have possibly been a cap for the Bismarck players. Datshaw changed to the Lucios and get there quicker, and they did a good job of stalling. Fabled's now in, maybe trying to make something happen with the Doomfist. Getting the heals they need. Here comes a play. Gets taken down. Tweety falls. Fabled falls. Freaky's last stalling. Nice job with the grapple to try to get up top and get back down. Waste time for the team to get there. But the blade from the side of Bismarck on the Genji will help them secure this point. I believe they have one more to clear, and I think it's the Winston. May have just backed up to stay alive. But good job there on the side of Northern Essex Community College of not letting them have too much time. Fabled with a beautiful flank. Wow, that was great by Fabled. Wow, that was awesome. So Fabled hid up top, dove in, got a kill, followed it up with the Meteor Strike, and ended up clearing 4, and I think it led to a complete team wipe. Great job by Fabled. Wow, that just slowed down any momentum Bismarck possibly had. Fabled's Doomfist, we saw it be great on map 1, and now we're seeing it be better and possibly here on map 3 on Anubis. A Tire comes in and gets 2. Datshaw will fall. The Mercy's been great out of Datshaw, so that's going to put them on the back foot a little bit here, that being the Knights. There goes Tweety. So here comes the pressure from Bismarck. Here's their chance to make something happen. We'll see how Northern Essex was able to get out of this. Freaky J, what a flash and kill.
Check this out. You'll feel better soon.
Just like that, the push is over. Good job by the Knights there to regain after losing your healers. We're going to skip ahead to what is the last push now. Bismarck out of time. A beautiful Tire. So the Junkrat, I will give them credit. The Junkrat on the side of Bismarck did a great job, but Fabled. Wow, he's just dominating. So if we're looking at why did they win this map 3 here on Temple of Anubis, I'm putting it on Fabled and Datshaw as the MVPs. So a clean 3-0. An awesome job. We'll see the play of the game from Fabled. But just like map 1, I give credit to the dives from Fabled. Map 3, I'll say Fabled obviously did a great job here as well. Sneaking in the back line. Another mistake where Bismarck's just not counting the heads, and they're not aware of where everybody is at. Not really having the best of comms, it seems like. Nevertheless, Datshaw, Fabled, got to be my MVPs for this team as we close out the dominating 3-0. Thank you so much for watching the first Critical Hits breakdown from me. My co-host Rob Flax is also doing a breakdown of his own on League of Legends, which can also be found here on this YouTube channel or on the Esports U network. So, if you're wondering where can I find the Esports U 24/7 Collegiate Esports Network to get all of the constant coverage that you want, you got to go to collegiatesmg.com and go to the Esports U tab, and on there, like I said, coverage from the ECAC, the NJCAA, and collegiate esports everywhere, covering all the news and giving you all the content that you could possibly want. If you're looking for more content from me or my co-host Rob, you can find us on Critical Hits and our brand. We have many different kind of shows on there, including an interview series called Collegiate Community, where we talk to esports athletes from different schools and different organizations to talk about what it's like to be a collegiate esports community member. Along with that, we also will have weekly roundups looking at biggest news, giving you highlights and such when the season starts back up. And it starts back up soon, August 10th. A Valorant tournament. We're really excited for that. We'll have your coverage. So until then, or until next time, thank you guys for watching. We'll see you later.
Hey guys, welcome to our first episode of Critical Hits with Collegiate Community, where we get you inside the esports scene of colleges, get you that inside access, talk with people, that critical level of knowledge that we want to share with you guys. We're here with Blake Whip Davis. Blake, thank you so much for joining us. So we wanted to take a moment of your time, walk us through the Overwatch history of your team and just what it means to be someone involved in the esports scene for the game. So thanks so much for joining us again.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Yeah, so sorry, I have a quick resume. I want to kind of, lay the groundwork here and explain to people what your team did. So you were formerly the team captain and manager at Centralia College in Trailblazers Overwatch. You guys competed in the NJCAA Overwatch Spring 2020 ladder, finished third in the regular season at 5-2. But Centralia, the Trailblazers, went on to win the playoffs and championship. And correct me if I'm wrong, you guys didn't lose a single map along the way in your bracket run?
That is correct, yes. Technically, I do want to elaborate.
Mhm.
We shouldn't have lost those two other matches. We had to forfeit those because of scheduling issues with college. I mean, schooling comes first. So we couldn't tell our players, no, skip class and come to the game. So we had to forfeit those because of scheduling. So yes, we technically didn't lose a single map. And yeah.
So what you're saying is you dominated the whole season.
Sure. I mean, I didn't say it, but yeah.
It's all good. Yeah. So once again, thank you for joining us. And it's kind of a couple questions. We want to know what's going on. So Rob, take this one.
So I was just wondering, could you take us through your team's dynamic through the past spring? Obviously, a lot of success that you guys had in the regular season and, as you mentioned, the postseason. So we were just wondering, what was the team like? How are the personalities? How do you guys practice? Just you guys operating as a team, as a unit. What does that look like for you guys?
So a normal week for us would be we first sit down the week before and we plan out, okay, whose schedule and where are we open to practice. We usually try to go for 2 practices a week or 3 at most, depending on if we have a game or 2 games that Saturday, Sunday. We don't want to push too many practices because we don't want to get burnt out before our games or overdo it. So we first have come in for the first practice. We just normal practice. We do hopefully line up a scrim. And then the second practice would either be VOD review or just go over like the fundamentals, who needs to work on what, or go through which map and run through what we're going to do for the map. And it was really chill. Everyone just come in, sit down, talk for like 5 to 10 minutes, and everyone loved each other. It was this great atmosphere. And we'd have like different practices going on the side to like League or Smash at the same time. And it's just everyone really loved each other. So yeah.
That's awesome. So take us a little bit. Obviously, you said that you had a really good team chemistry. So kind of what went into that playoff run where you guys went on to not lose a map, and kind of what was that playoff experience like winning the Spring 2020 championship?
I want to say it was mostly the skill gap, honestly. Our players had so much more training and like, I don't really know how to word it. They just so much more time into the game than I feel like all of our other opponents, and they had more knowledge from our coaching as well. Our coaching was great. Our Jacob Beach, he basically started the program at CC, and he helped everyone. Like, I remember one of our players started at silver and he ended being diamond at the very end of spring, and he gained so much knowledge. He became our main support. It was fantastic coaching by him, and our team chemistry just grew like that because everyone wanted to help each other get better, and everyone wanted to see each other succeed. And by the end, during our tournament run, we just kept winning and winning. We're like, man, we're so much better than everyone because we put so much more time into it. So you see our effort pay off that way.
Sure. And so from that time, and you mentioned you had that sort of skill gap, a big way that skill gap usually comes in Overwatch matches is positioning. Do you have any sort of not so much tricks, but like how did you guys develop your in-team positioning? How do you guys have like comms with so many things happening on screen at once? How do you guys maintain that level of communication during like very heated moments in the game?
Oh yeah, positioning is definitely the number one thing, and that just comes with knowledge and just a lot of time of playing. The way we did it is that we'd always set the shot caller and the target caller. The target caller would usually be a tank, but the shot caller will usually be a DPS, and the target caller, that'd be the main priority unless the shot caller overrides it, and then you immediately turn to that target. And we'd always have, when the comms got too chaotic, we'd always have someone yell clear comms, and everyone just be quiet, and we'd refocus, and we just go from there. But other than that, yeah, that positioning is like the main thing in Overwatch, and no, don't have good positioning, you don't have good team coordination. But
So
yeah.
when you mentioned that level of game knowledge of learning the maps, knowing the sight lines, knowing that positioning, is that something that the players you mentioned, some people came in with and had that knowledge base, but you mentioned some other players went from silver to diamond. So when you're coaching a player like that, when you're bringing them up to the level, as you mentioned, they ended up as a support. What type of techniques do you use to get your players to get to know the positioning? How is that something on the coaching staff, or is that up to the individual player to just spend time with the game and get it up to that level?
So we first tell the player to spend time, get to know your character that you're going to be playing, put as much time as in as you can, and then over time, little by little, we show them where to position through VOD review. We go through, oh, you're playing here, which you should be actually back here. If you see your tanks, you should be way back here, or playing in this little cubby, so you have sight line here, but you also have walls blocking you from these sight lines. So over time, we just tell the player where they should be playing and why they should be playing that way, because it just helps the other teammates like get into better positions from your positioning.
And that
Um,
type of positioning, sorry to
no,
interrupt, Frank,
you're good. Go.
is that something that's developed by your coaching staff, or is this an overarching meta within Overwatch that's like well-known game knowledge, or is this something that your coaching staff sort of develops? And I know like maps don't always make their way into competitive as soon as they come out, but these sight lines, is this something that your coaching staff is able to identify on their own, or is this something that's just overall, if you're playing at a diamond level, you should know this, and it's just imparting that knowledge to the lower players?
Oh, it's definitely on the coaching staff. Our coach had great knowledge in the game. He was high GM. He has a lot of time into the game, and he's put a lot of effort just studying VODs and getting to know the game really well. And he did great on showing positioning and everything. But it is also on the player too. If they are playing at that skill gap, they should know the positioning. Very, like, they should know where to position and why they should be positioning that way. But it is definitely on the coach staff to tell them what they're doing wrong and why they're positioning that way as well, to teach them to try to get higher in ranking, because better positioning, that helps.
Yeah, so
That
I was wondering in terms of like the development of the meta for you guys. They mentioned Overwatch 2 is going to kind of correct some of the balancing mistakes that maybe were baked into Overwatch 1 and can't really be overhauled without a brand new product. I was wondering, do you see your guys continuing to stay competitive and the competitive scene still focusing around Overwatch 1? And if you guys are transitioning to Overwatch 2, how much carryover do you think some of the mechanics, some of those sight lines and knowledge of positioning and everything we just mentioned is going to carry over to what is a new product, and they are trying to design it from the ground up to be that way?
So Overwatch 2 is solely going to be PvE, besides the new game mode for PvP and basically all the new characters that are coming out. They have not stated anything about reworks or anything on all the existing characters. So at this, I want to say the meta is going to fluctuate for like the first few months because of all the new characters coming through and the new game mode. But other than that, I think it's just going to be the same solely based game unless they do reworks or a bunch of updates to the existing patch where they try to diminish double shield, try to figure out the damage inputs and outputs and everything that's going on.
So I want to ask a little bit about the NJCAA community and your fellow colleges that you compete with and you competed against. What's the community like within the NJCAA? Like, are there major rivalries? Does everyone get along really well? How are, like, scrims like? Just tell us a little about the community. Like, you have a favorite and least team to go against? Like, just what's going on on the inside that we wouldn't see as just spectators?
So NJCA, everyone was like kind of blind going into it because no one, like, this was their first time doing it, and so no one really knew how to really go about it. So everyone was just really chill and just asking questions along the way with each other, like, how should we do this? How should we line up scrims? And everything was just through Discord and League Spot, and it was just really easy. But the rivalry part, that's funny. Our championship game against Bismarck. So we played them our very first game in the league standings, and we beat them 3-0. But then 2 weeks before the championship game, we actually scrimmed them and lost.
Oh,
And
yeah.
then 2 weeks later, we played them in championship and beat them. And I thought that was kind of funny because we got to, I guess that's kind of our rivalry. We talked a bit on Discord and a bit giving each other good feed, but nothing bad against everyone. Everyone, like, I would ask for like a VOD from someone. Yeah, here you go. This is from our match. Everyone gave each other tips. I mostly gave a bunch of people tips, and I also asked for a lot of VODs from other people because I really want to see other people's perspectives from what we looked like.
So I actually ended up doing I was looking at a VOD the other day, doing a VOD review, and it was a match between Bismarck and Northern Essex Community College, and it was a game in which Northern Essex kind of rolled them. So I mean, was that just like, were like the three top dogs just kind of going head to head all year? Was that kind of like, is that like the top of the league?
I want to say Bismarck definitely grew over the tournament.
Okay.
Like, because I think we were first playing them, we're like, oh wow, they're not very good. Is this going to be like how the whole tournament will be? But then when we later played them down the line, they actually got pretty good. Like, you can see their improvement over the year. So they did become one of the top dogs in it. So yeah.
Absolutely. So you mentioned VOD review, and for those who might just be tuning into for the first time into esports, they might not be familiar with why it might be so important to review the tape. They're thinking, oh, it's a game. You can see everything from the perspective of the player. You remember what you were doing. So can you walk us through why, from a top-down, like, coaching staff, getting to the individual player's perspective, why VOD reviews are so crucial in learning how to get better at the game and to see what mistakes might have been made?
Yeah. It's just like if you're playing any other sport, game film, seeing a third person of you and seeing why you're doing that, and then thinking, and you're going back and thinking, wait, I did that, and just realizing your mistakes and your key moments that you've messed up or did great. Seeing that from a different perspective really gives you on like how you should be doing things. If like I play basketball and we'd always have game review, I always see myself, wait, why am I playing defense like that? That's not how I feel like I was playing defense. And so I would always think during practice, how can I fix this? Or like coaches tell me, you should be doing it this way, or you should be in this position. That gives me during practice or in a game, oh yeah, I remember he told me to do this. So that's what VOD review is really about, is just reminding you and teaching you how you should really do things.
So tell us a little bit about your history with esports in general. Obviously, we talked a lot about now your collegiate career. You were at Centralia College, but when did you become like a competitive, like, Overwatch player? When did you really get into competitive gaming and esports? And how was like being part of this team and the NJCAA like helped you grow as an individual esports competitor?
Yeah, I started out first playing on console, Call of Duty, all
Yep.
grown up, and then once Overwatch came out, I saw it with a buddy. I'm like, wow, that game looks really fun, and I was still on console at the time. And then college rolls around, and I'm still playing on console, but then an esports program starts up. I get to talking with them. They're like, oh, you should really switch to PC, because the esports at the time at the college was like just starting. It hasn't started yet. I switch over to PC. 2 months in, I hit master, and I'm like, wow, this is a big improvement. Like, the PC scene is way different. And I slowly but surely I joined the team at Centralia College, and I get into all these tournaments. And I don't even know where I'm really going with this, but um, but yeah, the esport, they really got me going. I was grinding the game like 6 hours a day, sometimes 8, like depending on how I was feeling. Just the competitiveness of playing against other teams really just got me grinding the game, and it like got me way better. But then playing by yourself, it's a way different game playing by yourself. Playing against other colleges and just having the competitiveness, like back in high school when I was playing sports, I really missed it, and it filled the void. Really.
So you're going to be attending Washington State University. You told us you see the Cougars flag in the background, so congratulations on that.
Thank you.
You said you're hoping to continue your esports career as well when you go there. So what's something you've learned or taken away from your time doing the in the collegiate community that is the NJCAA that you want to bring with you on your next step, and how has that shaped you and helping you go into the future?
Mm, it's how you put yourself out there. Like, no one's going to come to you and tell you, "Hey, we want you on your team." It's how you put yourself out there. Talk to people on Discord, just putting your name out there, and also uh, build communities or build connections with people. That also really helps. Like, I'm still like I still sometimes talk to the other teammates of the other colleges and just ask them like how things are going and stuff. Just keeping those connections and getting to know like the community, like past connections, is just great for the esports scene too.
Absolutely. So, what would you say to current esports competitors, both in the NJCAA scene and even in other leagues like the ECAC? Like, what's something that someone like yourself who has a very like high level of success, what would you say to them to make them be able to succeed? You mentioned those connections, but in terms of work ethic, in terms of what you have to readjust your schedule, in terms of a college student to be able to balance both like the work and being able to be part of the team, what's like a recipe to success maybe that you found that you think that other players could benefit from, and something that people who are going into the scene could know going into it before they join?
Definitely schooling is definitely the number one thing that was grinded into our heads first starting off at the esports at CC. But other than that, the schedule for me, I always found that worked. Try to get the school done first really fast, or not really fast, get it done thoroughly, I should say.
Yeah.
Get that done. But then any downtime you have, just study up, VOD review, and then if when you're free to game, like no distractions, play as much as you want, but also have a sleep schedule, have an eating schedule. It's like a normal sport. You want to keep healthy, keep sleeping, make sure you're on your studying and books correctly, but also at the same time, you're kind of playing a sport. So put as much time as it into you can studying and as much time as you can into the game. Just learn.
All right. Well,
Absolutely.
Blake Whip, thank you for joining us on our first episode of Collegiate Community as a part of our Critical Hits brand here on Esports U. So thank you so much for taking time out of your day to talk to us and give us some insight on what the inside of the community is like.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Is there anything else you'd like to add? Any kind of plug for any team that you're, any program that you're joining right now? Any sort of like tournament that you'd like to highlight? Anything like that?
I got nothing really besides I did want to do a shout out to my team at CC. I was with them all the way, and I loved every single moment of it. Even all the people that only came in for like one quarter, I got to meet. I thoroughly enjoyed meeting them, and I do want to give a shout out to the esports program. Everyone there was great, and the coaching was great. Jacob Beach did a phenomenal job starting that program up from the ground up. So I got to give it to him for getting me into esports.
Okay, great. Thank you so much.
And thank you.
And thanks again to Whit for joining us on our very first episode of Critical Hits Collegiate Community, bringing to you guys that inside look, that insider knowledge of what the world of collegiate esports looks like. Guys, a lot more exciting collegiate content coming to you guys from us moving forward.
Yeah, and right now we're in the off season. Obviously, we're in the summer, but we're getting very close to the restart of schools. So we will be getting more content for you. What we're going to be doing now in the summer here with the launch of the 24/7 channels, you'll see some critical hits breakdowns, a closer look at some of the games that we thought were interesting from the past couple latter seasons as well. We will be doing raw reactions when the games start back up, Rob, where we'll hop in a call, or maybe even when we're back in person. We're students at Syracuse University, so go Orange. When we're back there, maybe we'll get together, have a little watch party, watch some of the matches, and record our live reactions for you, the viewer, as well as we're going to have roundups once the seasons start back up, giving you all the biggest news and highlights and stuff from the games that we saw in the past weekend. So a lot of content coming your way from Critical Hits.
Absolutely. And not just on the collegiate level, guys. For the professional side, we have our show Front Page Esports debuting on Citrus TV Entertainment and on 24/7 Esports U as well. So for the more professional side of things, Call of Duty League, Overwatch League, NLCS, North American Division of League of Legends, you can check out us with that show. Check out that side of the content as well.
Yeah, so I mean, this is a lot of fun. We're gonna have content from collegiate to professional. We're covering all these sports here. It's a lot to keep up with, but we're gonna do our best to cover it for you, the viewers here at the 24/7 channel. I know I'm excited, Rob. I mean, it's gonna be a great time.
Absolutely, guys. Thank you so much for joining us, and we can't wait for all the exciting things coming your way from us. August 1st is the premiere. We can't wait to see you then.
Yeah, make sure to follow us on Twitter. I'm at Frank Salerno _Rob. You're Rob _Flax?
Or Flax, that's correct.
Yeah, you got the underscore in the middle there. You know, I wish we can just have our normal Twitter handles. It would make this a lot easier.
Absolutely.
All right.